and welcome to Chart of the Day Cafe for Tuesday, May 9th, 2017. Just want to read our disclaimer quickly. Trading stocks is a high level of risk and viewers should complete their own due diligence on any stock or underlying that they intend to own. 100% of the content of this video and communique is intended for journalistic and educational purposes only. This video and all indicators, strategies, and articles herein should not be construed as investment advice, not making any recommendations, always for your further homework. Hi everybody, hope you had a great weekend. The sun is shining where I am and spring is in the air, so it's all good. And with that, let's get into our regular Tuesday video. We always start off with a look at the Russell Index, and for that we use the IWM, which is the ETF that represents the Russell 2000, and we step back to take a look at it on a 5-year monthly time frame. Part of our discipline at Chart of the Day Cafe is only putting new names forward for our watch list in a rising market environment. So we want to see the Russell in an uptrend and up and over the 8-day EMA on the daily chart. This blue line is our 8-day EMA. Here is a candle shaping up so far for the month of May. There's April, a little bit of indecision with a wick at the top and a wick at the bottom. And we've got this trend line identified in here because the Russell seems to struggle a little bit when it gets up to this trend line, so we're looking for it to move up and over, perhaps. It can go either way, but to continue this uptrend, it's going to have to get through our black line. And then we've got our orange line of more general support, and then down here, our light blue line of very long-term support. So we're focusing on this area right here, right now. I'm going to move it away from the 5-year monthly to the 1-year weekly. There's the same orange line, same wedge. You can see that this trend line here identifies those areas of struggle for the Russell. A couple of weeks ago, it came up and it kissed the line and it retreated. Last week, it tried to make a little headway. And so far this week, it's early. This is where we are right here, right now. So price is up and over that 8-day. I'm going to move it over to the daily chart now. And here we go. So it looks as though we're going to get, it's definitely looking as though it wants to turn higher here, but it's struggling a little bit. So we do not put any new charts forward for our watch list unless price is up and over this 8-day EMA on the daily chart. So we're not going to add any new names, although I do have a great shopping list that I want to share with you later in the week. We're going to review a couple of old Chart of the Day Cafe picks that look poised to move higher. So should we have a follow-through day that is positive and the Russell move up and over this 8-day EMA, here are 2 past picks that I think might be worth keeping an eye on. So should we get that positive price action in the markets today, here are 2 past featured Chart of the Day Cafe picks that I think look interesting here as well. So the first one is Coke, which we featured on October 20th, 2016. We're looking at the 2-year weekly chart. Little green circle is where we put out our video. It had some wild price action after that, but a very positive candle. Again, it's the weekly chart, so it started to lift, and it is now settled right in here. I'm going to move it away from the weekly to the daily so you can better see how price is behaving. And it's consolidating here a little bit. You know what, Chart of the Day Cafe, it's all about price being up and over the blue line, which is the 8-day EMA, but I would expect if the markets have a good day, Coke may lift here and start to give us that move up and over the blue. And then for those of you that follow the 3 and the 8 on the daily, what we like to see is the pink line move over the blue line, and that's where we're interested. So as long as they don't cross, we're good. So we had a cross here, but it looks as though it's consolidating, and if it starts to lift, that would be an interesting one to look at. Check the scores on it this morning. Forecasted, the value score is still there, of course, and it's got a forecasted earnings growth rate going forward of 24%, and it pays a small dividend of 0.49%. The second one, let me go over to my plain study, is Kimberly-Clark. Let's go to the 2-year weekly. We put it forward, green circle, right in here at this area of support. Kind of wonked around a little bit down here on support, but then it lifted, and it lifted really nicely. So again, we're looking at the 2-year weekly, it had this beautiful lift up and out, and it looks as though it might be settling right in here. So I'm going to move it away from the weekly to the 3-month daily. And again, should we get positive price action, I would look for this one to lift up and over the 8-day EMA as well. Check the scores on this one this morning. It's got a forecasted earnings growth rate of 16%, and the value score is still where we need it, and this one has a 3.02% yield. So I would be looking to Kimberly Clark, a past chart of the day cafe pick, and Coke.